Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna from Flip It Ain't Easy. And we figured out our camera situation, by the way. We didn't have to go buy a new one.
Who figured it out?
Well, you did. But when we do something, we do it collectively, right?
No, not always.
So it was set for 480p resolution. Don't ask me how that happened, but it's at 720p. So it's not quite, we're like in 2005 standards right now. So we're probably going to do something with the StreamYard as they actually give me the ability, if I pay them, to upgrade resolution. So hopefully you guys, everything looks good. We can hear us fine. So a couple things here while we kind of let people roll in. Normally we get over 150 people watching, and I think there's like a very small percentage of that now. So we'll kind of let people have a chance to kind of get in and so they don't miss anything. But if you're with us today and you're watching on the live, please participate in the program by just, posting your question or answer someone's question. If you're not able to make it with us, you're just watching the replay, certainly we're glad to have you here. Comment down below, but no matter how you're watching it, hit the like button. That tells YouTube that we're doing a pretty good job, and it gets the word out to other resellers that, we have a pretty good community here. So basically we have dogs in the background. I don't know what she's trying to do. Snapping fingers.
Licking.
Yeah. He has our dog Kylo has a broken licker. You basically go anywhere within like a foot of him, he will make it a point to just keep licking you. It's like, stop. And our other dog doesn't do any of that.
He doesn't lick at all.
Not even like when he's like happy or whatever, he doesn't do that. So they're like totally two different dogs. But you didn't tune into this channel to talk about dogs, because there's plenty of dog channels out there that are better than this. But this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, well, first of all, how is your sales? Mine was, I would say, a little bit below average, but nothing to get worried about. I think there was a moment there on Saturday where like there were no sales at all for like half the day, and then a switch turned on, and the sales came back. Traffic's down like big time. I was just checking it out before the show, and I don't know if I still have it in front of me, but we're talking like 20-30% down in traffic, but the sales aren't off that bad. So just it is what it is. Now we're always trying to figure out why our sales are so bad. And it's sort of like anything else in life that you're just trying to figure out. You don't have all the information. You tend to draw your own conclusions. And I think that's what a lot of us do, myself included. But eBay sent out a message about 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern today. And not everyone got it because Archie didn't get it. If you check
because Archie's everyone.
Archie's everyone. But he checked his account and he didn't have it. So what it says is from eBay for Business, we're updating our category structure and adding new item specifics. Okay. And it says starting May 16th, that's like less than 12. They give us a 12-hour notice, guys. Starting May 16th, we'll be refreshing the structure of certain item categories and adding new item specifics to provide a more intuitive buying, selling, and search experience. If you have listings in these categories, they'll automatically move to the most relevant category. By making these changes, buyers will be able to discover your products quicker and easier, especially on mobile devices and by international buyers. With this launch, you may experience a change in fees. Now, hear this part out. Either an increase or decrease. We know that. So if you go from one category to another, it's going to change the fees, the final value fees for that item because it's in a new category. You want to add new item specifics in impacted categories before May 16th. They gave us a less than 12-hour notice to add new item specifics in impacted categories, and they want it done by May 16th to avoid any temporary disruptions as the changes launch. How nice of eBay, huh? Wasn't that great? Nothing like a good old 12-hour notice to get your item specifics changed in the upcoming category changes. So that's the message. Now there's a link if you guys want to kind of, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but there's a link in the live stream here that shows you, if you go and click on it, all the different changes. So it's showing a lot of different changes, like showing all or only changed. And it's if you just go to only changed, it's a long list. I mean, it scrolls way down. You can go like to the new categories. It's probably not as long, but it's still pretty long. Um, um, they're moving items into, moving from, rename. So you could try to follow, and they even have a retired category um, list it's really not that big, but there's some retired categories that they're doing as well. This makes me wonder, guys. Changes like this don't just get implemented overnight. Okay, this is why I was saying when you draw your own conclusions to something like this. We've been trying for weeks to figure out why are our sales down? Okay, why do some days pop up and there's absolutely no activity until like a certain time later in the day, and it's like a switch flips? And to me, if eBay has been making changes, who knows how long they've been doing this? Maybe it's been weeks, maybe it's been months, but implementing these changes behind the scenes from moving our items from one category to another. This isn't something that I don't believe, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is my thought. This is something that's been happening over the last who knows how long. And this could be why we're dealing with items that aren't being seen in search, slow sales, because there's a transition from our items being from one category to another. And now that's my hypothesis on that, in the idea that eBay isn't just going to flip a switch on the 16th, 12:01 a.m., and all of our categories are going to be magically moved. This has mostly already happened, in my opinion. Now, if someone needs to fact check me, I'm hoping to God that that's the case, because, if eBay is saying on the 16th, these are going to change overnight, I mean, I can just imagine the glitches we're going to encounter. I don't think that's the case, because why would they tell us in this email that they sent us that, oh, by the way, we're giving you 12 hours to get your item specifics changed, because for the items that have been changed to different categories. And what is going to happen is, if your item has been changed to a different category, you're going to see this is on the PC, you're going to see that when you're going down to item specifics, you're going to see an item specific with the trash can next to it, meaning that, yeah, you could keep it there, but it's really not all that important. It's no longer relevant to that category. And whenever I encounter that, I just go and delete those. I've been seeing those a lot lately when I've been doing my, end item sell similar, or piggybacking off an existing listing to create a listing. I'm noticing a lot of information that looks pretty pertinent to the item, but is now, I guess, in eBay's mind, expendable, where we can go in and just simply delete it. So, and I've been seeing that more and more lately. So I'm thinking that these changes have been implemented over the last couple months at least.
That's probably why everybody's having all these glitches going on.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing so much on the back end.
Now, if that's the case, and I'm thinking that it is, I'm very hopeful that eBay is. Now, we're always going to see glitches with eBay, but the number of glitches and problems that we're encountering, I'm hopeful is going to maybe be minimized, because they're done tinkering with the item specifics and category.
Right, but when when they go and they fiddle with everything in the back end, they always break something else. So,
They do. And, so we have been seeing and watching the things break with whatever they're doing. And just so nice of them that they're giving us 12 hours of notice.
You only get 12 hours.
This is what kills me. eBay, and I'm sure they're watching. I'm sure they have someone on their social media team watching, and I don't know if they ever, give the people who need to know the feedback. But if eBay really looks at themselves, I mean, they try to tell us like once a year, the eBay celebration or the eBay opens that they put on, that they're looking at us as sort of partners in this process. They're not doing a good job, because again, 12 hours notice isn't enough for anyone. And you're talking, you got people who have stores in the thousands of items. to have to go through and update your item specifics. If you've changed some item specifics, required item specifics for certain items because of a move from an item from one category to another, guess what's going to happen if you don't update those items? Those items aren't going to show up in search because you are required to have a value in those item specifics when it's required. And I fear that that's why a lot of our listings maybe not showing up in search, because you're dealing with some item specifics that are missing. So I know that many of you guys probably have plans tonight. It's Monday night, so not that big of a deal. But maybe you weren't planning on working this evening. Maybe a good idea to start going through and making sure that you have at least your required item specifics in order. That would be a good starting point. So, again, they only let us know about 5 hours ago, and I haven't really been messing with it, to be honest with you. I've been just doing my normal daily routine, which Mondays and Fridays are fairly busy because of shipping and all that. So want your comments and your thoughts down below. Again, this is just, eBay doesn't communicate, guys. They just don't. They refuse to communicate with the sellers. It's almost as if they're afraid to tell us, like, hey guys, starting in February, we're going to start moving categories over, and we're going to have it done by mid-May. So just to be aware, you're going to lose some sales or item visibility because of that, and or find a lot of glitches. Just hang in there, and we'll keep you up to speed as we go. But no, it's under lock and key. They're afraid to tell us until the 12th hour, literally. And it's maddening.
And they didn't even tell everybody. That's another problem. If you have sellers on the platform, I don't care how big or how small, everybody should have gotten this email, because it's going to affect you in one way or another.
Well, I could see them not telling Archie because he's hardly on eBay.
Well, that's you guys' own little rival thing.
No, we joke with each other all the time. Now, he's on eBay quite a bit lately.
They should have let everybody know, yes, including Archie.
You know what they could have done? They could have. How many buyers have been affected by this stuff? Yeah. How about send a thing? Hey, we are trying to make. They go in here and put their little spin on it, right? But we're going to try to provide a more intuitive buying, selling, and search experience. They can lead up to the bad news by saying, hey, this is all the stuff we're trying to do. We've taken your feedback and we're putting it into order, but it's going to take some problems along the way, but we're working on it actively. And this is what you could experience, and just bear with us because it's going to lead to a better experience. But instead, they just make us wonder how many reps have been contacted by sellers saying, what's going on with my store? And are they not even telling their reps? Are they just keeping it as a secret in-house? This isn't the Colonel Sanders, original recipe we're talking about here. This is simply, business. We're trying to conduct business, and it can't be a secret that things like this happen.
Well, they don't want to tell their employees, because then what if they slip and they tell us?
Well, the idea is to communicate. So
they don't know how to.
But I think it's that they're not wanting to, because I think maybe, just maybe, if there's a hint that they are going to lose sales because of changes, that's going to hit their stock prices. And I think they're already afraid. Kevin Commonwealth Picker put out a video today, just kind of touching on the subject of a mass exodus. I don't know if that's the case, but I mean, they're losing millions of buyers and they're losing quite a few sellers. And I think any bad news, anything that even hints to a loss of anything, they're afraid is going to scare not only shareholders, but potential buyers and sellers on the platform. I don't know, eBay, you're watching here. Hopefully you are. Do better. I mean, yeah, we understand that you're going to have to do some improvements on the site. We all can agree to that. You keep putting these Band-Aids on the site, but at least let us know. That way you got, people like James out there who's constantly looking at his store, My Boring Reselling Life. He's constantly trying to figure this out, and all you have to do is communicate. I mean, there's people, like myself, we rely on knowing what's going on, and for whatever reason, it just ain't happening. So,
but the sad part is most big companies do the same thing.
well,
You know, I can say our previous employer wasn't the greatest communication either. And I'm not surprised.
well, I can tell you in a lot of cases, in most cases, they provided us more than 12 hours notice though.
Yeah,
So,
that is true.
so let's see who we have here. I'm off my soapbox. Hopefully you guys had a good yard sale weekend. I went with Archie to the local yard sales here, and he is convinced that community yard sales just aren't it. And he made a point of telling me that. And the more and more I thought of it, the more and more I thought, you know what, I think he's onto something, because we went to a number of community yard sales, and it's almost like you have a bunch of neighbors that are out just hanging out in their driveway, and they just put up maybe one table and a few things on the ground, and they're kind of standing around and socializing, and they're not really taking the whole yard sale concept seriously. We did a lot of drive-bys where you just drive and you try to look, you're turtlenecking it, and you decide on the fly if you're going to stop or not. We did a lot of that because it just didn't seem like at some of these yard sales, people were even bothering putting anything worth stopping for out in their driveways. So I don't know. I still like the community yard sales, but not this last weekend. Now I ended up, we stopped at this guy's house, and a couple things I want to say before I get to your Q&As and stuff. Stopped at this guy's house, and it was a place we've stopped before, and it's one of those career yard sellers. And I was going to do a video, but I didn't bring my GoPro, and the video was okay, but the sound quality wasn't good, so I didn't really put anything out. But this guy, he goes to, and this is something that you can do. This guy doesn't pay anything for his stuff that he sells. Now he's selling at yard sales. He's losing money because of that. If he knew how to do eBay, he'd be making a killing, because what he's doing is he is going to, like, dumpster diving, that kind of thing. And I know that's kind of off limits to a lot of you guys, but in our city, in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, in the surrounding area, Henderson, the trash company every 2 weeks has a designated day. It's called Large Item Pickup Day. And people that have things that are just large and bulky or whatever, they put them out next to their trash cans. Well, this guy knows all the areas and what days they have a large item pickup, and he's picking up things for resale. And you'll be surprised the type of stuff that this guy has. I bought from him for $15. It's in the box. It's missing the keyboard, but it is an iMac computer. The 27-inch screen with the computer built in. It's all Bluetooth, and there's some connections in the back. We powered it on. It booted right to the OS. No passwords needed. $15. Took it home. Took a best offer for, I think, $100 plus shipping, and was in the box, had all the styrofoam and everything. Found a bowling bag that was like really never used. I got that up for sale. Archie found a bunch of stuff there, and it's like, wow. It's a one way. If you have that opportunity, I know it's not the best way to source, but if you have a community large item pickup and you have a truck or something, it may be something you just, on those designated days, take an hour and just go through that area and pick up some of these items that people are just leaving out. They just, I was talking to Archie today about it. Well, why is it that, he's able to find such good stuff? There's people out there who don't know the value of what they have.
Mm-hmm.
They got stuff in their closet and like, look, I don't want to mess with it. Maybe they have enough money. They don't need to mess with putting it up on eBay. They just want to get rid of it. And they just rather clean out their garage, their closet, and put it out on large item pickup day and have someone pick it up. And guess what? Those trucks come by. It's like a big trash compactor, and they destroy it. So wouldn't feel bad about taking that at all. So that's one alternative. If you don't really have a lot of funds to work with and you're trying to find a side hustle, that look into that. See if there's a large item pickup in your area. Now, Archie did come by and buy some golf clubs at this place. I found a number of clubs that he bought for like $1 or $2 and was able to list. And I think he may have already sold one, but to turn $1 into $50 to $60 plus shipping is pretty good. Now it leads me to this. We're still in the spring, not quite at summer yet, but summer is also a time where people play a lot of golf, myself included. If you're coming across golf equipment, golf training tools, or training aids, that is a Bolo, guys. I picked up what is called an orange whip. It has like a big orange ball at the end of it. Looks like a golf club, but you're swinging a club with a ball at the end of it, and it seems like nothing, but in any condition, those things sell for like $70+. And if you're able to I picked one up for like $5, flipped it for like 70 within a day online. So just something to keep an eye out for really any type of golf aid. But when in doubt, look it up, check the comps. All right. So 20 minutes in, and I haven't even started looking at anything you guys have to say. So I apologize. But hopefully you guys have some information at least to think about, and post your comments and questions down in the chat. Got Bill York in the house. We have PTS Treasures is here. Truman 316 says, hello, PTS. Hello, Biscuit. Hello, Jenna. Smash the hit button. YouTube added a hit button. I hope not. Had a great weekend of traffic and sales. So remember to smash that like button for John's money back guarantee.
That's right.
So you hit the like button within 24 hours, you're going to get a sale. I just don't know how it works, but now it's just I think it's like a karma thing. But now that eBay has fixed the categories, maybe we're going to start seeing some consistency. Let's hope for that.
I hope so.
Whispering Hill Farms says, hi guys, I hope all the mothers survive Mother's Day. Next to Father's Day, it is the busiest day of the year for moms. Shouldn't be. They should be hanging out, relaxing, whatever. That stranger says, hi John, Jenna, FAE people. We have Callie Debs. Hey John, Jenna, and everyone in the chat. Happy Monday. Jovial Juggler says, hey FAE fam, happy National Chocolate Chip Day. Ooh. I like chocolate chip, but that's just the chips, no cookie. I don't know. Whispering Hill Farm is in the house. Mike Camparelli says, hi, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and all the moms out there, a nice Mother's Day. And I think Mike got some pretty good scores in his neck of the woods at yard sales. At least that's what he told me. Leonard Kosakowski says, hello, all ready for some more eBay glitches. Let's hope that's not the case. I'm kind of glitched out. I want something new, I don't know what that new is, but I'm over glitches at this point. Jovial says, big fat goose egg all weekend.
Wow.
And here's the thing. I don't understand. This last Friday on the live, I invited anyone who cared to say, look, send me an email, flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to look at your store. I mean, if you are having a hard time with sales, there's got to be an answer. That should be obvious when you look at the store. There are some cases where there's problems behind the scenes. I get that. Maybe there's things going on with your account health. Your sell-through rate has a big impact in future sales. I'm a firm believer in that. But aside from that, it's about improving your listing. So the offer still stands. I'm not charging you a dime. Just send me an email. I'll be glad to take 20, 30 minutes to see what I can figure out. But I find that, once I go through that process, people don't like what I have to say. So only do so if you really want a true, honest assessment of what I'm seeing. And I mean, I'm just one person, but it's one more piece of advice than you had before, so glad to do that for you guys, whoever
Sometimes
is interested.
It just takes another pair of eyes to see something that you're not recognizing.
And look, I don't need any more stuff to do, but I'm glad to do it for you guys. You guys take time out of your day to come and hang out with us on the live. So that's the least I can try to do to help in any way I can. Not to say that I'm perfect, but I can tell you that things have changed dramatically for me. So, by studying and doing all these videos that we put out, I do take time to learn a lot of this stuff too. So glad to help. Now, Wanda Greer's here. Howdy, folks. We got Sandra in the house. Hi, everyone. I hit that like button on Friday and got a sale from one buyer for 12 items.
Wow.
She paid. I shipped, hit that button. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Whispering Hill Farm. Truman, I haven't opted out yet, but promoting is working and saving me more money than giving discounts on old stuff. So that's the hierarchy of of what I feel, in my opinion, you should be doing. I think it's more important to promote at a higher price than to go in and offer a discount without promoting. Let's say you're hanging out at 2%. I think it's better to go up, and I hate to give eBay money just like a lot of people do, but this is the game. If you want to play in their sandbox, you got to learn to play by what they want you to play. And I think it's more important to promote at what they're recommending than it is to offer a markdown sale and or coupon, even though those are very good things to have. Now, if you can do all of it, that's even better, but you got to have enough room in your, in your item between what's the market's saying that it's worth and what you're into it for to be able to pull all that off. That stranger is in the house. We have Kina. Hello, 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 everyone. Get ready to be alive.
No, great.
Great to be alive. Well, get ready to be alive.
Just adding words in
No,
there.
it's just I'm trying to read too fast. I'm actually kind of adding words in my mind as I read. Wanda Greer, thanks, stranger and Hill Farm. Hope your day has been great. Art Betzold's in the house. Thanks for being here, Art. No One Design changed their logo. Oh, they're strangling eBay, looks like. Like at first I didn't recognize it. Tony Resale says, what's up, everyone? Hi, John and Jenna. Joy Goodno says, hi, all. We have Fisher Flips. Good evening. Thanks for being here.
Fisher Flips.
Bearded PokeTuber says, looking crispier than a KFC 8-piece.
Yeah, the
are you talking about the camera? Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you go like this, see how everything turns pink? And then you do this.
Okay. That was fun.
Because he talks, well, we both do, but I just tend to do it down here.
Leonard says, hello from New Hampshire. We have Jackie in the house. Hi, John and Jenna. Lawrence Trombley says, question, if I lost it a little with the buyer, would eBay send me a notice about the emails right away? Would they slap my hand another way? Normally I write an email, then I erase it and never sending. So it depends. We've all had that buyer where we've wanted to. This is something that I learned back when I was in management at Amtrak. It was always, if someone pissed you off, always write up the email and then step away, come back, delete, and then retype it all. And
he says he tried to do that, but it may.
No, he might have hit send by accident. But the buyer can report you. They can report you. And I believe eBay holds the sellers to a higher standard when it comes to communication. We all know that eBay would rather delete a seller than lose a buyer. That's for sure. Tamara Lynn says, I'm here. Well, hey, thanks for being here, Tamara. The Mad Scientist says, I wish eBay would not mess with things. It's usually more harm than good. Yeah, they have a track record of it. They have a track record of, you guys remember a couple years ago in the fall seller update 2020, I believe, where they lost all your photos if you're selling clothing. That was fun, I bet, huh? I didn't have a lot of clothes. I wasn't affected by that, but I could just imagine going through and having to rephoto everything because they went through and lost your photos. AZ Cat Sue Janoski says, hi, new to your lives, enjoying your content. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Yeah. Awesome. I love seeing new names in the chat. We have JRKR 1964 in the house. No One Design 2 says, licking ain't easy.
For him, it is.
Yeah, it's like from day one with that dog. Gail's in the house. We have Ping G. Thanks for being here, Ping and Gail. Callie Deb says, my sales were okay. The switch got turned back on, but still not great. Yeah. But we're getting into that time of year where, it's just that people aren't thinking about eBay and they're going to be out and about. Not to say sales aren't there, but there's going to be a little bit less buyers here in the next few months, as which it has been historically. Mad Scientist says, I had 1.5 months of bad sales, down 75%. Then a week ago, boom, Christmas sales again. Could very well be that if my thought is correct, look, we're going to work on these categories today and this week. So once that's done, we're going to move on to this next block of categories and boom, 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 boom. Maybe they didn't know when they were going to be done. Maybe they found out today, sometime this morning. Oh, by the way, we're almost done. We'll be done by the 16th. Trying to be fair to eBay, but I mean, gee, how about we don't know when we're going to be done. Just put up with it. I'd rather have some kind of communication than none at all. No One Design says, had a great weekend, all-time high sales for me. 60% of my sales were international.
Wow.
That's because you're placing high in ranking for those, like we're seeing a lot of UK listings in the United States ranked high, and you might be getting a lot of folks in the UK, and those of you who are with us in the UK, let me know if you're seeing a lot of US listings ranking higher than UK listings on ebay.co.uk, I believe it is. Ashley VL says, I'm back for the live. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys so much for much needed eBay knowledge. Well, thank you, Ashley. Thanks for being here. Jackie says, I got 4 sales after hitting the like button on a missed live show that I watched later.
Yeah, see, it still
even works. Wow. Biff says the category update looked a lot like mainly automotive, but there's so much.
Not really.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
On this list,
I mean,
there's art,
antiques,
babies,
art, baby,
books. I mean, the
business,
list
industrial,
is in alphabetical order, and that's big.
And I'm scrolling. You guys hear me? I'm scrolling. We got clothes and
Vintage,
coins and paper money.
Animals. The list is just.
I don't know how forever. I saw this, but I was looking through like the new categories. They had one where they added like adult toy cleaner.
Yeah. Are you serious?
I saw it. I don't know where it is. I'm like, what the heck? I thought they weren't even selling that stuff on eBay anymore. But
they sell some.
No. They had gotten rid of the adult section a long time ago, but I don't know. Side Gig says it sounded like a few categories, and I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through all of them. Yeah, again, the links in the notes down below.
Did you put it on?
Yeah, it's there, and you can go and click on it, and you can just. There's a tab for only change, so that's all. Any category that's changed at least a little bit. Mm-hmm. They have new, they have move to, move from, whatever you want to find. We have 180 people right now, guys. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So the fact that you guys take time, the fact that you guys take time to, out of your afternoon or evening to come and hang with us to talk shop is pretty cool. So thank you for being here. If it flips, it ships, says eBay won't let me refund a buyer because they say they need a second means of payment. They can F off 3 years with one means of payment. Well, here's the thing. It's not so much that I think I've seen this before. If you don't have anything in your available balance, right, then they don't have anything to refund off of. And they're basically saying that you need a second means of payment. There's no way to use, you probably have a second means of payment that they have on file, but it doesn't quite work that way. I would say reach out to the buyer, let them know that, we're going to process your return, as soon as possible. Make sure that you haven't exceeded the date that they've given you to process the return. And if you're getting close to that date where they say you have, X amount of days to inspect the item, and if it's, we'll take over if you haven't processed it by this date, before that date hits and you don't have enough, if it keeps telling you that error message, contact eBay and have them process the refund. Now here's the deal. Make sure that they don't give you a ding, because whenever they step in on your behalf, they tend to give you a defect. I would dispute that, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen. We're going to get a defect anyway, and they're going to hit your card anyway. So get in front of it. And that's what I would do. It's a pain. Hopefully you have a few days to get some money in your account so that you don't get that message. But it's happened to me, and that's exactly how I had to resolve it. Christina says, I'm late. I didn't get a notification. That's interesting. Hit that notification bell. Just go down and make sure when you hit the drop down on the notification bell, you have it set to all. Wanda Greer says, what categories are affected? Click the link below and you will see a lot.
You can have fun looking through that giant list.
And we're talking, it could be a category that maybe wasn't moved, but maybe item specifics were changed. That'll be on this list, right? My main concern is that if you're selling in a category that has required item specifics that have been added or, removed is not that big of a deal, but if they've been added or changed, then you're going to need to go in and make sure that those listings aren't affected, because those listings, if they have a missing value for a required item specifics, they won't show up in search. TikTok says we'll start in a few weeks then. I don't know what he's talking about, but we'll move on. One Design says, thank you, Jenna, for dressing John up to be color friendly for the live. Yes. Did want to add a little more purple.
It's there's a lot of colors going on.
Yeah. But happy to know I don't have to shell out $100 for a new video camera, just a setting that.
Thank your wife. You could send that $100 over to me.
Maybe. Truman says, when I hear about glitches or rapid changes, I picture that scene from Titanic where the ship is sinking and you see the crew flipping the power switches to keep the lights on. Yep. Yeah. And only the people that are fortunate enough to get into the rafts are going to survive. And we're going to lose a lot of sellers as if this continues, you're going to have a lot of people like, going down with the ship. Callie Deb says, I hate it when they move listings around. That's when they empty your fields and move part of your items into the wrong categories. Yes. Yeah. And you're like, why do they bother doing this? Yeah. This is not even that.
You have an item up for sale that's now in the wrong category, has all the wrong, everything's wrong in it. And you have to go back and.
Fisher Flips wants to know, are we actually surprised eBay didn't let us know? No. Not at all, but that doesn't mean I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I'm very disappointed that, eBay just, come on, man. They are a tech platform. They are fast to let you know when you have a Vero, when you do something wrong, at least me. But to give me, I guess I'm fortunate to have 12 hours notice. There's some people who didn't get that at all, like, Archie and others, who would be totally left in the dark if, it wasn't for
they didn't YouTube. Have friends like us.
Yeah. But, we try to pass on the information. I would have gone live earlier, but I want to keep the format to 3 p.m., what everyone's used to, because I thought it was pretty important. The Mad Scientist says, I don't do most of the recommended item specifics. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, we don't either.
No, don't have to do recommended. Don't have to do additional, but you just got to make sure you're required on there.
The main key points of whatever it is and move on.
Jovial has the same problem. My dog can't control her liquor either.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. Daisy says, hi, question for you both. So today my listing was took down Vero White House black market top, new with tags. My photos, only last photo had the new tag or the tag in the pic. Email says Chico's took it down. Well, not sure if it has anything to do with the photos unless you're using stock photos in that listing. But at this point, you can maybe reach out to the company. They give you an email usually in that message. Yeah. Reach out and say, hey, what's going on? Can you tell me why you took this down? I mean, chances are they won't even respond to you. But at that point, put it on Poshmark. Move on unless you get some kind of resolution. Betso Kick says, question, sold a pair of new rare Jordan 1s on eBay. FedEx lost my package. My eBay funds were pooled and FedEx said they couldn't refund my full value because I didn't disclose it. Any help? Yeah, that's why it's important. Like now eBay is supposed to do this when you run the label through eBay labels. There is no place for you to declare a value. That should be done as part of the process if you're buying the FedEx label through eBay. I don't buy my FedEx labels through eBay. I have an account through FedEx. I've special rates worked out, and there's a field in there where you got to go in and put the value, because if you don't put the value, you're kind of hurting yourself when it comes to, remember these companies, I don't care if it's FedEx, UPS, USPS, they're like any insurance company when you file an insurance claim, okay? They don't want to pay you. They are looking for anything they can to get out of that thing of paying. So if you don't declare a value, they're going to basically say it has zero value. Now, I would be providing them with photos of your listing to show the value, but I would be getting someone on the phone and having them show you where in the policy does it say I have to provide you up front with the value of an item that I'm shipping, because nobody knows that we're going to be, you're going to be losing my item. But for something like that, I don't know what it's valued at. I think the Jordan 1s are pretty expensive. Get someone on the phone. That's pretty important. The Mad Scientist says, I got an item delisted because I put it in the wrong category. I don't trust eBay's AI to do it correctly. I don't either. That's why we may be dealing with problems for the next week or two or more until, like items that aren't showing up in search. until you go in and fix some of these items. Now, if what they're telling us is correct, that means they're done playing with the item specifics and the categories as of midnight tonight. So let's hope that that's past us and we can just try to recover from whatever problems we're going to be faced with, if any. Let's see. Chris Phelps says, I just got off the phone with eBay. My ended items are not showing up in the ended items. They go to unsold items, and a few were duplicated a few times. I've been on the phone with eBay for hours. Wow. See, this is the kind of thing. These glitches don't always affect everyone. They affect people differently. I haven't had that problem. Let's see. ABC Matt is in the house. I think eBay was having issues from April 19th to the 29th because my store was dead. It's since been better. Yeah, I mean, look, if they're changing all these categories, whether it's item specifics or just changing the category, deleting it altogether, making a new one, whatever they do, it's going to affect each and every one of us differently because we have a different quantity, different type of item that may be listed in these categories. And so for me to say, hey, well, it didn't hurt me any because, would be a disservice. Everyone has, I mean, someone like James with like 40,000 items probably has a better feel for these kind of glitches than say someone like me with 250 items. But there's days where I notice like, I'm sending offers out, really not getting any sales. It's like the switch flips later in the day and it kind of catches up, but you can feel that something's going on. You just can't put your finger on it. Randall says, on Saturday, eBay eliminated the option to auto list my newly listed auction items. I was told that as a recognized regular seller, that my listings will now always be auto relisted 8 times. So I think there's an easy mode, like a starter mode on eBay. Well, wait, we have 200 people watching right now. That's awesome. That just caught my eye. That's never happened, by the way. And as soon as I say it, we start losing watchers. So don't go away. But yeah, I think you might have been set up on the starter mode where they give you the option to even go in and to reduce your price like every so often. As you establish yourself on eBay, they start introducing the regular lister to you. Curious about auctions, though. In my opinion, I think they're kind of dead. Wondering, just because you said auctions, if you would do better just doing a fixed price than an auction. Keena says, eBay, you got your ears on, come in. Yeah, there's someone from eBay watching, whether they watch it live or after the fact. There's someone out there, and the only thing I wish that they would, pass on is, come on, give us a chance, more than 12 hours to figure out what you're doing to prepare ourselves for what you're doing. And, for some, it might be a late Monday night just to get ahead of this thing. Randall says, we're not partners with eBay. We're contractors, subcontractors. Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand that. But I think there's been a number of occasions where they've come out and said, hey, we sellers are our partners. We're having this eBay Open or the celebration. We want you to be able to succeed. And, without communication, forget eBay for a second. If the failure to communicate on any level, whether it's your home life, whether it's your work life, whether it's with your friends, or whether it's with whomever, if you fail to communicate, you're setting yourself up to fail. And this is what eBay's doing. They're failing to communicate for whatever reason, whether it's by design or what it is. They just refuse to talk to us, and or not even all of us. I got that message, and some of us didn't even get that email. So it just doesn't make sense. Fisher Flip says, is there a list of what categories? I didn't get an email last week. Again, check the link in the
I think they all know
the live.
now,
Yeah.
but you're
way
very
behind. I know. I like it. Dave Philman says, hey, John and Jenna, I heard your channel mentioned recently from Kevin and the Commonwealth Picker channel. Kudos. Well, thanks for being here, Dave. Yes,
thank you.
We had a chance to, well, at least I had a chance to meet Kevin when they were out here for the Trash to Cash podcast get together. And great guy. And we'll be seeing them again in September in Cincinnati. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, we bought our tickets.
Any moderators in here?
Our
we have a troll in the house.
No,
Okay.
she's
Okay.
It's her and Steve.
Oh, okay.
Having
I'm just a reseller, says, I'm sure they told everyone. Go check your messages. Tell me, go into your messages and see under your messages today on eBay. Don't have to go to your email. Go to your eBay messages and see if you have an email that says we're updating our category structure and adding new item specifics. According to Archie, he searched high and low this afternoon and couldn't find it. No One Design 2 says, I got the email, and after reading it, I've decided to change my profile pic. Okay, that's what that was about. Biff says, I was looking at these changes on Saturday. I Googled eBay May 16 update. I think I saw it in a YouTube comment. Yeah. TikTok says, John, you're dreaming. What am I dreaming of? I don't know what that means.
Oh, probably that you would hope that eBay would.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean we can't keep asking, right? They're not going to provide us a way for the buyer to pay for our item, immediately, like they've been promising us. At least they can maybe communicate that. Sandra says they're providing a calendar of which categories and when they will change it. I didn't see that. Certainly, I didn't get that memo. That would be nice that they can at least tell us, but I think there's many people who didn't know about that. Betzo Kick says, I took a $400 loss because the FedEx lost or stole my sneakers. Thanks, eBay, for helping. Get on the horn with FedEx. I mean, ultimately, they have to be responsible in some way, shape, or form. I think at the minimum, if you didn't add any insurance, they have to give you like $100.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they didn't get a message from eBay.
Yeah, it is here. And it says contact at ebayforbusiness.ebay.com is where it came from. And they sent it right to my, this is my email that I'm looking at. But if you go to your account, I know it's the same message. They sent it to me to all my messages. So got to be in all your messages. Sandra says some categories were done years ago. They're right. There's so many categories. You can actually look at this list and see all the categories that they have. But a change like that they're implementing, I think that they've implemented it already, but they're saying it's official tomorrow. Something like that is
probably, I mean, I could almost bet money that that's what they've been doing, causing all these glitches. And people's store, sales are down and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it's all trickling into that's what they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. No One Design says, I've been hearing these mass exodus for many years on YouTube from resellers and have stopped listening. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. It comes from eBay themselves. They've been saying that they've been reporting with their quarterly or their yearly reports that they're losing buyers and sellers. So it's not just YouTubers that are saying, hey, we're getting that information from eBay directly. I've said it many times, but
sayonara.
But the thing is,
that's more for us.
If you have a product that you're selling that is pretty much foolproof, that you're going to get the sales, regardless, then keep doing it, but there's probably another 90% of sellers that don't have that luxury and are trying to figure out, how do I make this thing work? Despite all these reports of, a loss of buyers and, what we're dealing with now with the changing categories and items not even showing up in search. Craig says, hi all. Craig Winans, thanks for being here.
Hi, Craig.
Christina bought a couple storage units this weekend. Wondering if you got anything good there.
Yeah.
ABC Matt says the community yard sale by me is great. I think if it's a rich neighborhood or not, it's a factor. I think if you're in a rich neighborhood, I think sometimes they want too much for their stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in a couple higher end neighborhoods. And you're like, yeah, this is a yard sale. I mean, yeah, it's an electronics item. You shouldn't be asking 50 to 100 for it. You're not going to really sell it.
Yeah, we haven't had much luck with the rich neighborhoods because they're either not participating in the community yard sale, or they're just asking outrageous prices, like as if you were at a freaking store.
Yeah.
So it's just absurd. So we tend to stay away from those ones.
Biff says, I hate community yard sales myself. They're mostly are selling out of convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where I found that $1,700 set of stuff. back in November. It was a community yard sale. I just
I
can't.
think it's a hit or miss. I
It
mean,
is.
it's either everybody's participating and all is great and all is good, or it's the complete opposite.
Just need to temper my expectations when I
Yeah.
go to these things. Keena says, large on a pickup day sounds intriguing. Yeah.
Yes, it's so nice. Oh my gosh, it is so incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Because as you guys know, we have a lot of large item stuff that comes in, and sometimes, you know, we have wrecked boxes and foam and
Mhm.
just stuff that we can't make use of when repacking. And so we just
There's things that we
put
throw
it
out. Yeah.
every other week. They come every other Thursday. They're here.
Yeah, there's things that we throw out that we probably could, if we had an ability to have a yard sale on a whim, we could probably put it out. But you know, they make us wait. There's one in the spring, one in the fall here with the HOA, gated community, and it's if we put a yard sale out, first of all, they're not going to have the gates open for these people.
Yeah.
And number two, they're probably going to send a nasty gram saying you can't do that unless you're doing it on specific days. And I'm not willing to sit there and hold stuff in my garage taking up space. And I just put it out there whenever I can. So you get a lot of, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
They have a lot of rules out here in Vegas. I mean, we have a watering rule. We have community yard sale rules. We have all kinds of stupid rules that you wouldn't really have in other areas. It's just, it's very different from where we lived in California.
Just a reseller says, do you have a residential internet account or a business? I have residential. You know, it's always been set up.
Business is way too expensive.
Yeah, you know, and it's not 100% used by the business. It's like 50-50, I'd say. Yeah, because you got the shows and stuff that we watch.
Yeah, but we don't even hardly watch TV.
Ping G says, in Anaheim, you call the waste management and schedule a pickup. My son put out items and someone picked some items before the waste management truck came by.
Yeah, that's how it was for us in California as well.
And you see trucks, and I remember in California seeing these trucks that were just full of stuff that would go driving around on trash day. And that's what they do. And in this case, this guy's case, he has a Instagram account, and you know, he has just stuff like every weekend. The first time we went there, I didn't really look that much because there's a lot of bikes and strollers and things like that. I didn't want to sell. But now that I'm into more, you know, I've opened my horizons. I've broadened my horizons to larger stuff. And that's really been working. It used to be, for those of you who really haven't watched my videos, that I would just focus on smaller stuff that you can maybe fit into a poly bag and that type of thing. But now opened up my you know, you're used to selling a certain type of thing, and then you make a jump to, like in our case, larger things. When you go to yard sales, you start noticing some of the larger things that you would have ignored before.
Yeah.
Mark says, hi, John and Jenna. I must tell you, Jenna, your hairdo looks great today.
Oh, thanks.
Your
it's
hairdo.
Just it's clean. It's washed.
That helps.
And it's just thrown
hair tip,
out.
guys. Wash your hair once in a while. Noah Design says, well, to tell you why a lot of people do not know the value of what they have is because we need those people so us resellers can stay in business. I'm not hating on that. I'm happy that, you know, they don't know what they have. There's nothing more refreshing than going to a yard sale and having someone say, I don't know, a couple bucks. Rather see that than say, well, I saw it on eBay for $80.
I don't like, you know, those people.
But then you got to ask them, well, what's your return policy? You know, did I get 30 days? I'm a reseller. Says golf bags sell great. Yeah. Jovial says usually start turtlenecking when I'm prairie dogging. Yeah, sounds like a personal problem. Sorry. Eddie says, did you hear that Steve died from Craigslist, Hunter? Very sad. He was a nice guy. No, I didn't see that. I guess that's
wait, which one is Steve?
No, Steve is, I think he's one of the employees there. I don't know. I'm now going to have to go in and do some investigation.
I was just watching Craigslist. Hunter.
Yeah. Well, Pete has employees that works for him, so I don't know.
But I just wonder who.
Yeah, I don't know. No Design says can't have a like button without the dislike button.
This is true.
Can't have a seller without buyers. That's true. Lilac Seller says, hey all, thanks for being here.
Hi, Meg.
Mike says, found an orange whip swing trainer for $5 at a yard sale, flipped it for 100 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a bolo, guys.
Yes.
Dr. Whisper says, I sold the VCR DVD combo, shipped it today. Yay. Those are good, especially have the remote for them.
Yeah.
No One Design says, stop moving the screen turning orange when you do. I don't think the camera.
That's what
Is
I
it
was
really
telling
turning
you
orange?
when you go like this.
I hit the like button 3 times just in case.
Yeah.
I might have to turn these
Like,
lights off next time if they're really impacting
dislike,
things.
Like, yeah.
Victor says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here, Victor. Cassandra says, I was never ready to be alive.
I was never ready to be alive.
I don't know. Well, you are, and you're here. So
because of Keena's comment earlier. It's so nice to be alive, or I'm still alive, or something.
I'm just a reseller. Says you checked my store out before and gave me honest opinions, and it was great. I made some changes, and my sales improved. Awesome.
Oh, good.
Awesome to help whenever I can. I usually will sit late at night in bed and can't sleep. I'll fire up my emails. If I come across them, I'll reply to them. That's usually when I get to my messages.
Yeah, he does that very, very late at night.
Don't touch me,
Don't touch me.
My first Monday with no sales in months. I don't know. Maybe if you have someone touch you, it could help to change things. Eddie Estrada says, I'm just kidding. Past life pickings and eBay will hide items in your store that are 120 days old. That's why, to me, I like the end item sell similar.
Refreshing it. Yeah.
Well, end item sell similar treats it as a new listing. Holy Cow says, yes, we do. I'm in the UK. So
because you asked if you were in the UK.
Yeah. But do they have US listings that are showing up? But what I'm curious about is
says, yes, we do.
Yeah, but I'm saying not only show up, but show up in front of your local listings. Ping G says, I end sell similar before listings get to 120 days, usually before 60. Minnie Duke says, I just hit the like. Yes.
Well,
got 214 people watching.
217.
What's going on
right now?
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
That is really cool. I remember when we were like freaking out when we had 100 people watching like months ago. It was pretty cool. Victor says, the categories for antiques and collectibles are garbage. eBay done away with most of the categories that relate to my items, which makes it a little bit more difficult for you to properly categorize your items that you're listing. Defiant Gray says, started watching these reseller shows for the last 3 months. Really great stuff. I'm going to start this reselling thing part-time. There you go.
There you go.
I would say
start with things that you have in your house.
Yeah, no need to dumpster dive just yet, but don't quit your day job until you get it really going.
And it's steady.
Yeah. Keena says, like button engaged. Minnie Duke says, change from clothing to small appliances and electronics since March. Went from 4K in 90 days to 19,000 in 90 days.
Wow.
And that's just it. See, you change. Okay, if you're in clothing, you know, it's not a bad gig. You can get a lot more stuff listed. The problem is there's so many people trying to do what you're doing that you have high competition, which means even more so you need to be getting these clothing items for pennies on the dollar, because you'll have more room to lowball, because just the competition is just so fierce. And you need to be cross-listing onto like Poshmark and other sites like that to help.
I mean, when we were getting the small appliances, that's a part of the time that we were doing really well, when we were getting it from liquidation.
Yeah.
And those things, they sell. And
they do. You're not going to list as much. So, like channels that say you got to be listing 50. I mean, even some of those channels are backing off of that. Okay. Yeah. There's one channel in particular that's saying 10 items in your garage is where it's at. And that wasn't what they were saying before. And I'll leave it at that. But, you're not going to be able to list 50 to 100 electronics items if you're doing it properly. Right. You got to, especially if you get them at a yard sale, if you get them at liquidation, you're in the same spot. You're going to have to test these things. Yeah. And once you test them, don't be like that seller who lists something that's just nasty and dirty. Yeah. You got to clean it. You got to get your, whatever you use to clean stuff, clean it, make it presentable. And then now you're going to have to get your items, what do they call it? The staged. For your photos. You can't just take a photo like you're doing a 100-yard dash past the item. You got to take time to do zooms into features, and it takes a while to list these things. And you're going to get higher returns. It's just part of the deal, but you're going to get more sales. And so I'm a big fan of electronics, that's for sure. Silver Hair says sales are up 63%. Summer slowdown has begun. LOL. And it depends. I mean, if you're selling bathing suits, I mean, yeah, it's going to be better than what it was in December. But a lot of us sell different things. Most of us sell different things, and we're all going to have different experiences.
Yeah, so for some people, depending on what you sell, you may not experience a summer slowdown. That may be your peak season time of the year. So it's just everybody is different, and you can't compare yourself to everyone.
June wants to know, does everyone else get ghost notifications from eBay? I checked and there's nothing new. Drives me nuts. I don't know. I don't get that. But it's just, I don't know why some people got this message and some didn't. It makes no sense to me. Art didn't get it.
There's a lot you're gonna see.
Let's see. Leonard says, just accepted an offer on Posh, got my like sale. There you go.
Woo-hoo.
Bearded PokeTuber said the problem with that is that eBay provides a label for you if they're getting authenticated. You get no say or to add any extra insurance. So yes, I'm sure that those Jordan ones. What's weird about it though is, okay, if you're sending something that had to be authenticated, right? Regardless of who you send it with, did the item get lost before it got to eBay? Because once eBay gets it, they have to then ship it out on your behalf after they authenticate it. So it sounds like it may have gotten lost before eBay got it. But either way, I'd be throwing a fit with FedEx. You have a valid tracking number, and okay, if anything, you should be covered for up to $100, right? Keena says, would I sell more if I got a store?
Is on another level today, so everybody watch out. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I love it.
Keena, here's the deal. If you have enough items in your store, I'd say over 100, you might want to consider looking at a starter store, because you're given the ability to do a markdown sale and to do a coupon. I'd say a public coupon, and those do help. So it's worth the $12.95 a month, whatever they charge for it. Bill York says, I'm ending and selling similar, but I'm drastically lowering my prices. Let's see if that works. I need more sales. But just make sure, Bill, that you're leaving enough meat on the bone. And, I always look at, when I'm looking at, well, do I buy this item? Do I leave it? There's just not enough meat on the bone for me to actually do these things, adjust prices, markdown sale, coupon, and promote at a high rate. I pass on it. So don't turn that item into one of those items. Kimberly Sweet says, hit that thumbs up. Yes, guys, we have 216 people right now watching. And it's just unbelievable to me that you guys would take time to hang out with us. But thank you for that. We really appreciate you being here, and hit the like button. I appreciate it. Craig says, has everybody wised up and quit doing promoted items? I think, Craig, I mean, look, it's frustrating to have to pay eBay extra 5 to 10%, or more in some cases. It's frustrating, but it's the way that eBay is going now. You're never going to get 100% of sellers to agree to no longer promote. If we did have something like that, then I'd see definitely we'd have more power. But because you're never going to get 100%, you're never going to get 30% to do that collectively. It's just kind of a wasted thought, in that you got to just you've got to start focusing on what you can do to improve your situation. And the number one thing you can do is start buying better, buying items with more demand, and finding a way to buy those kind of items at a lower price point. If you see a bunch of items that can sell at a yard sale, instead of picking out a couple of them, find out if this person really wants money, and take money out and say, what do you want for all of them? Because money will get their attention, and you give me a good deal, I'll buy all of them from you. And depending on their motivation, like cleaning out my garage, that's all I care about, they'll give you a deal. And now you find yourself in a better spot to be able to promote at a higher rate and, sell at a lower price point than everyone else. Craig says it was good when they only charged on the item that brought the item to your store, but now they charge you on promoted items, even if the one that brought them there, it's a ripoff. It's frustrating, but at the same time, they don't, just because your item sells and it has promoted, let's say you promoted an item, let's say someone finds it as an organic listing, and that problem I told you guys about months ago, it's still a thing. I don't want them to fix it, but your items are still out there organically, and if they click on that item, never clicked on it before, and buy it, you're not getting charged that fee. I think it's like 60 to 70% of my promoted listings I do get charged the fee on. There's like another 30% where it's like an organic sale and I don't have to pay that. So it's not as bad as it sounds. So I would start promoting. And you'll notice this, and I'll say it fast, that on a lot of lowest plus shipping searches will show the dual listings. And that's the last you'll ever hear me say. Grandkids galore. I came from Kevin's channel too. Yes. Well, thank you. Awesome. Good channel. Commonwealth Picker is definitely a really good guy. And he's probably watching. He's probably in the background. I'm sure Pete's there too. Come on in and hang out. We'd love to have you check on in with us. Hellhammer says, I have no message from eBay regarding the change.
You're gonna keep reading.
I know. But there's no better thing than to show some proof, because I'm sure you guys believe me, but this is the one. I'll share this.
I just think it's unfair.
So here it is right here, guys. This is it. And if you see, it was May 15th, 23rd. Okay. So that's it right there. Just want you to see that it's a thing. Okay. And that was certainly something we're going to be dealing with here. Hopefully it's done. The work is done, but don't be surprised if a switch gets flipped overnight at midnight, and who knows, all the glitches that we've never seen gets unleashed. Who knows? Hopefully that doesn't happen. So I'm trying to get back to us. Okay, here we go. So that's the message that I got. Love to Run says, no message from eBay either. Ping didn't get that message. Edward didn't get the message. Isn't it a shame that only some of us got a 12-hour notice?
Yeah.
And some of us got no notice. Callie Deb says the calendar showed when they changed things in the past. Like to see that. James Steinbreaker says, I've never received that message either. So a lot of folks that didn't get it.
Can't get out the front door.
Casey says, hey guys, thanks for being here, Casey. Yeah, we left our packages for FedEx out in front because there's a lot. We had like 15 huge packages.
It's just a giant. It's a giant pile.
They're supposed to be here by 5
in front of the door.
So
we don't want them too far out because we don't want people coming to, who knows.
Wanda says, who remembers the mass exodus a few years ago where eBay ended thousands of sellers' accounts?
That's bad.
I don't really remember that. It's easy to remember things, and it's easy to forget things that we're not affected by. Alicia Curtis says, hello, everyone.
Shut the garage.
You're going to shut the garage? Okay. Casey says, can you talk about global shipping? Yeah, I can talk about global shipping. I'm not sure what you're looking for, but I made a video a couple weeks ago that was talking about the possibility, if you're set up properly for eBay, it's their international shipping program, not to be confused with standard international shipping program, which is something they're doing away with. They automatically opted people in from global shipping over to this new program. Okay. And you're automatically opted in. Now, if you have your items set for domestic, say you're not bothering with international, you're in that program. Okay. And you don't even know it until you get your first order. You're in that program, and you're going to be dealing possibly with slower sales. I know it happened to us. We were hit with slow sales on that secondary account for a good week until we turned it off, and then our sales came back, and other people had said the same thing. So, and other people are saying that they're doing well. They're doing great with international. So, you want to do a trial and error, but check your shipping policies. Make sure if you're wanting to be opted in that you have domestic only, meaning when that drop down in your shipping policy says other international or whatever, you have it saying no international. Okay. And make sure all your policies are that way. Now, whether or not you want to deal with international or not, if you want out of this program, you simply go into your account. So you'll see your name on the PC up on the left. You click on it, go to account, you go to shipping preferences, and the top of that screen, it'll say that you're opted in. You want to click on that so you're opted out. And then it'll take some time for them to process it. You may get an order or two for their program until they finally opt you out. And that should fix some people's sales. Work for us, work for other people. You go to the video that I made, a lot of people were very happy that their sales like turned back on. In my case, it was like literally, I did it that morning and that afternoon it was done. Archie says, I can't rely on eBay to get information. I have to do it from John's live, kind of like how I get all my news off TikTok. Yes, glad to help with that. You can also find it on e-commerce bites. Ina Steiner did an article on that as well. Mac and Cheese, does eBay control sellers' sales? I do think that they control what's shown to people when they do a search. And you can simply do your own experiment by looking up on an account. Let's say you're not signed in on eBay. Go in and look up your items on a different browser and see and do multiple searches for the same item. You'll see that you're going to be placed in different spots in whether it's page 1, page 2, page 3. And I believe eBay does try to sort of share the wealth of search results. So one account isn't getting all the sales. It's sort of spread out amongst other sellers who are selling similar items. Now it's just up to you to have a good quality listing. Now, of course, factors like promoted rates. If I'm promoted at 10%, you're promoted at 2% or not at all, you're going to continually appear in the same general area of search that you did before, maybe a little higher in some cases, maybe a little bit lower. So yeah, I think that they do play a big role through the algorithm on that. And it's just up to you to figure out what works for the type of item you're selling. For some people, it makes no sense to promote. So you shouldn't just go blindly promoting everything. You just have an item that's maybe not sought after. If you have a one-of-a-kind item and you're not selling it, either you've priced it too high or nobody wants it. At least the unicorn, I made a video on this. A unicorn buyer, the one person that's looking for your item will come by and find it eventually if it has some value. Let's see. Truman says, I hate to sound like the old man in the room. It's a lack of work ethic and service. The accessory brain cell phone is a blessing and a curse. It is making people short-sighted. Yep.
Right.
Just wait till AI gets a hold of this society. I mean, it's already, you haven't seen anything yet. Okay. Some of the things that are coming out with AI will blow your mind. And if people are stuck in this, I don't have to do anything myself mode. I'll just let AI do it. That's you talk about work ethic.
We're already we've got this, newest generation that has come in that they don't want to work.
Yeah.
They feel entitled to everything.
Doug's in the house. Hey, Doug, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Tom Cooper says, no message for me. Sylvia says, good evening, guys. Thanks for being here, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
No One Design says, it's not just ads, but have to have your payment processor to handle the taxes in different states. And that's a fee as well. But that's one fee I don't mind paying. Yes, like let's say eBay charges sales tax, could be an additional 8%. So let's say it's a $200 item. They're charging the customer like an additional $16. You are paying whatever promoted rate and final value fees on that $16 that eBay collects. The reason why I don't mind that so much is because if eBay said, you know what, we're not going to charge you a fee on this, it's up to you to deal with each state individually and collect the sales tax and send it off every quarter. That would totally drive away a ton of sellers, would be really bad. And I know eBay knows that. They know that they drive away their sellers. And that was the only alternative. But they found an opportunity to find a way to fee us in that process. And it is what it is. Silver Hair Stacker says, I hit the like button, but not sure if I want to hear John sing. I'm not going to sing for you, I promise.
No, did you read that comment?
Which one?
Keena's. I think it was Keena.
Did Keena say something?
Or Archie said something about if you get.
Well, we ain't singing, so we'll pass that up.
They
that
want to hear you sing Gangster's Paradise.
No.
Say,
No, I gotta have the music. I gotta have. I've never been good at karaoke. Believe me, we're at 212 viewers. The moment I put out that first tune, you guys are done. Oh, got Tommy. I thought he slept in. Wow, I see the flyers passed out for tonight's swinger meeting work. 200 plus people are here ready to mingle. Well, thank you for the flyers, Tommy. Kelly A says, hello, John and Jennifer from Virginia. Love your streams. Also hit the like button. Yahoo or Yahoo. Well, thank you. Thanks for being here, Kelly. Let's see. We got to get kind of caught up a little bit. I'm actually doing pretty good. I was 30 minutes behind your comments. I'm now about only 20, which is pretty good. Thimble Munch says, eventually Prime Lister will fail and end, or is Prime Lister, or is that Perfect Lister? I don't know. eBay knew that before creating it and just wanted the fees for the depression. And maybe I'm even wrong. I don't know what PL means.
I don't know what PL is.
So
you can't really, if something that eBay created.
No, I'm stupid. Sorry, guys. Promoted listings will fail.
Oh.
And eBay knew that before creating it and just wanted the fees for the depression. Well, look, I don't know if they're going to know it's failing or not. If it's going to be increased in some way, they're going to find a way to get more money, especially if they're losing sellers and buyers on the platform, losing transactions. They're going to find a way to please their shareholders one way or another. Casey says, I enrolled in global shipping in my sales. Unenrolled. And I love having autocorrect sit next to me. It's great.
Sorry.
And she's autocorrect on the lives, and I call her Tom when we're driving because she tells me where to go and how to get there. Casey says, I unenrolled in global shipping and my sales normalized. I think you had talked about that in one of your videos. Yes. So you unenroll in the, and I think I told you about it. I'm just behind your comments, but go back and check out that video. You just got to unenroll in the process. Donald Luque says, I just started selling new and discounted GE appliance parts and also selling Briggs and Stratton mower parts. Things are very slow for me. There's a market for it. I mean, yeah. We actually had a big lot of Roomba vacuums in our liquidation pallet a couple years ago. And I'm talking, these were trashed. We couldn't sell them individually. We had to go in, take out the viable parts and like the batteries, the wheel assemblies, and the different brush motor assemblies, all that stuff, because other people were selling these on eBay. I didn't know anything about it, but I learned how to take these things apart and listed them. And it did take some time. When you're dealing with parts like that, it can be like,
I mean, I remember sitting at the old house, just sitting on the floor in the middle of all these Roombas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you going to finish?
Oh, just sitting on the floor with all these Roombas surrounding us with all our cleaning supplies, gloves, because it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And just piecing out parts, and it was a mess.
So we have Craigslist Hunter. Pete is in the house. I knew he was watching. Thanks for being here, Pete. Tommy says, people that think promoted listings are going anywhere are crazy. Pay attention to stock market. Make more every quarter off of it. Also, Poshmark is beta testing it. It's the future. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I don't know. I agree with you on that. If Poshmark does that, and they certainly can, what's going to happen? So are you supposed to promote and share your listings? That's going to be, it's going to get to a point where there's just too much work to sell on Poshmark. Yeah. Art says maybe they're sending email via Pony Express, or maybe they're just waiting for all the calls coming in saying, what's going on now? I have nothing's being shown. It's the 16th. Yeah. Let's hope that's not the case. Yeah. Design says eBay is using FedEx to send them emails, so expect it to be late. Hey, I've had good experience with FedEx. What do you guys think about me bringing that FedEx rep on? He had mentioned that he wouldn't mind coming on. I hesitate to bring him on because I don't want it to be a complaint fest, but it may be able to, get someone on here that can answer questions like, why is it that, I ship an item and it gets lost and I'm basically told, go pound sand, that I think to get someone who has an idea of the inner workings, the guy has a lot of knowledge. But yeah, let me know what you think. I might have him on if you guys are nice to him. Because he's done me. You guys can be ruthless. He's done me a solid on these discounts, though. Earthquake. Amazon seller says best garage sales ever have been in high-end neighborhoods, but every area is different. in LA, Orange County. The richer the neighborhood, the better.
Yeah.
Just one example, got a $150 end Blu-ray half sealed for $30.
Yeah. See, we thought the same thing, but out here, it's not like that. These people who are, living the life, they don't have time. They don't have patience for a yard sale.
Either they're not doing the yard sale, or they remember they spent $300 on this whatever, and they want $100 for it.
Yeah.
And
it's just not the same.
You as a reseller
areas.
are looking at comps going, well, it's used and it's going for 150. There's just not enough, meat on the bone, and you got to kind of walk away. The rural squirrel says, I have it turned on international, but haven't seen a ton of things go through it. Yeah. And so if you're looking at increasing your sales, look, international is going to play a very small role in the percentage of your sales anyway. So if you can find a way to increase your visibility domestically, or at least want to see if it works, why not turn it off, opt out for a week, and see if you have any increase in sales? You can always opt back in, but the not knowing part, I think that's half the battle, knowing how it affects your account. I think for a lot of us, some people are afraid to make the change. You're not going to break anything. I think it's already broken. So give it a try and see if it helps.
I mean, that's how we get a lot of our information, is testing it ourselves and doing the research. It's just, that's how we get a lot of that.
AR Resell says, I've already sold more than 5 through international, and you will. But if it's not, I don't know why it's negatively affecting some accounts over others. I just don't know. It could be, when I was talking to an eBay rep, they made mention of how if you have items excluded on your shipping policy, or a country's excluded, that it may hurt visibility in those countries, even though eBay will ship to a lot of those countries on that list. If you've excluded a lot of those countries, that can hurt the amount of sales you have. I don't know. I'm not trying to find out about international because it's such a small amount. I will wait months until I hear that the majority of people are having success with it before I switch back. Southern Talk says, I turned my international shipping program off about a week ago. Just got to sell today, so see what happens. I had none prior to this. Well, hopefully you get sales. And you know what? Because eBay doesn't communicate, they're never going to say, look, we saw the feedback that there's a problem with international and it's fixed now. It could very well be fixed, but they're never going to tell us
They're
that.
not going to admit it.
Velvet Revolution says, new eBay shipping program absolutely affected our sales until we opted out. Thanks for the warning, guys. Awesome. See, and we're normal. On both accounts, we're not opted in, and I'm happy. Okay. I like the concept. I really think this is a long time coming. GSP should have been set up where any kind of return situation was handled by eBay. But they've implemented it now. It's good. It's on paper. It's great. But I just don't think it's well implemented, at least in my case. And in Southern Talk, they had the same situation, and they're not the only ones. Or was it Southern Talk? No, yeah. Well, Velvet Revolution. Tommy Bernard says, ever since I wrapped my roof in tinfoil, my sales have drastically increased. Hey, I know that's a knock on me, but let me tell you, I use trial and error. I use what works versus what doesn't. And if end items sell similar, it's going to help, I'm going to do it. If opting out of international shipping is going to help, I'm going to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about not how you get the sales, but it's getting the sales. If having international is going to put me behind a bunch of international listings in search for some reason, then I'll do what I can to opt out of that. Not saying that's exactly what's happening, but if it's broken, I don't want to be part of it. John Doe says, question, how do you all ship plush stuffed animals? Poly mailer, bubble mailer, or box? Well, we don't sell a lot of plushes. I mean, we would either use, if it's an inexpensive plush, probably put it in a clear plastic poly mailer, and then put it in an actual poly mailer and ship it that way. But if it's an expensive one, I'm going to spend a little extra time, maybe put it in a box.
Depends on how much it sold for.
Yeah.
If it sold for, more money. I don't even know what dollar amount I would put, but I would put it first, put it in a clear poly and then in a small box.
Ashley says, I opted out, but got a sale today that went to Newcastle, Delaware, but said the buyer was from China. What was an eBay International Hub? Global shipping was Erlinger. Yeah, global shipping was Erlinger. It's Newcastle. I thought it was Newcastle, Illinois or something, not Delaware. It is in Illinois, and someone said that they're having one open up in California, but that's hearsay. I don't know if that's actually a thing. No One Design says, I only did that to see if it worked in giggles and quickly fixed that, though. I don't know what you did to make that work. Joyce McGraw says, hi, all. This is Joyce from Ohio. Love your show. Well, thanks, Joyce. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Joyce.
Casey says, would you guys be interested in checking out my store and give me some pointers? My wife and I have been selling for a little less than a year. Yeah, check out. Just send me an email at flippinainteasy2020@gmail.com.
It seems to be that none of our mods showed up today.
Sarah Jane says, Poshmark is terrible for sellers, no protection. But see, what I've noticed is unless there's a legitimate problem with the item, at least in our experience, someone's not going to say anything to you. You know, like this is kind of maddening. I have an iron, like a clothing iron, where you flatten out your wrinkles. And it was a Rowenta is the name of it. Okay. And it was brand new condition. They got this thing back in April 14th is when it was delivered. I got a request for a return on the 14th of May saying that it has a big crack in the bottom and it can't hold water. Well, why are you now telling me this on the 30th day? Wasn't it an issue when you first got it or not? So what it tells me is they probably dropped it. It busted the bottom part, doesn't hold water well, and they're basically now holding me to a warranty rather than a return. In Poshmark's case, they get 3 days to inspect it. And if it's not what they ordered, then they deal with it, which minimizes the returns. They go out to a party the following weekend and spill all kinds of wine on it or whatever and ruin that white blouse or whatever. They can't return it after 3 days. It's on them. But with eBay, they can certainly return it. Bonnie says, bought a 150-piece collection of 80 G.I. Joes and having fun listing them. They're a great bolo. Yes, G.I. Joes, yes. There is definitely a market for old toys like that. Biscuit Bus says, bring on the FedEx guy. We need a virtual pinata.
No, that's exactly why he's not.
He's a good guy, but that was his only concern. He didn't want to be, the one up here getting beat up on, and I understand there's some frustration towards FedEx. I lost a lot of money back in the day using FedEx, but you know what? I adapted my business model to make it work. And even let's just say I lose every quarter, let's say I lose a $200 item that I never get compensated for. The amount of money I'm saving on shipping labels alone is crazy. We're talking like $5 on average per package. So if you're selling 600 items in a quarter, that's quite a bit of money. I can absorb a loss.
What was that one that you ran this morning that was, you came in and told me it was only 11 to ship on?
Yeah. eBay labels wanted $30-something. It was, $67 for USPS to go from here to California on 4 brand new Samsung toners that we've been kind of sitting on. So we basically sold all 4 for $80, which isn't that big of a deal. But when eBay's telling you USPS wants to charge you $67, you go down to UPS Ground, they want to charge you close to $30. And then I plug it into my FedEx account and they want like 11 something. That's a score. And saving, that's
not the only one. We save a lot of money using FedEx.
And
now,
this business,
because we know how FedEx runs now.
And this business is about not how much you're selling your item for. It's about how much are you buying it for? How much are you saving in the expenses to make the sale possible? How much are you saving on your shipping labels? How much are you spending on your packing supplies? All these things add up. And you could take an item that maybe isn't going to make you a whole lot and turn it into something that's kind of profitable. We've done that a couple times just because we've had good deals on shipping. Amazon seller says it's hard to give value to my sales are up 50% without knowing compared to what. How many sales from 3 to 5 a day means nothing. 100 to 150 a day. Okay, tell us more. Sorry if that sounds mean. No, it's all relative. I mean, look, what's 100 sales a day if you have 50,000 items? That's not a good sell through rate. And you know, and anyone has a large store and they bank on 100 items a day, maybe that works. If you're talking about I'm just trying to make X amount of dollars per day, I'm okay with having a low sell through rate with a large store. But to me, I'm making it work with 5 items a day. Okay, I average 5 to 7 items a day on my main account. And guess what? Because we have high ASP, average sale price, we're making that work. And we're talking about a store that's only 250 items. It's a very lean store. It's outperforming my 600 item store with items that, look, the 250 item store has some crap in it still. I've got to find a way to get that out of there. It should be closer to about 150. And I'm still making, we're averaging about $400 to $500 in sales per day, 7 days a week on that account. Amazon seller, is it seasonal? Did you just buy a big lot of iPhones? I think overall sales are down somewhat. It's hard to argue when Amazon is laying off thousands. eBay sales are down. Well, let me share with you. I'm not going to go into the actual account itself. I'm not going to do a screenshot of that or anything crazy like that. But in my particular case, what did I just sell? I sold, here's some examples of what I sold. A 30-pack cabinet of shelf pulls for $35.10. That's the total with shipping. That probably will be put.
Sharing your screen.
Oh, am I sharing the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh.
I just.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
And then I got we sold some Crocs. I mean, that's just basic stuff. That's small stuff. Picked up some vintage electronic preamp vacuum tubes. Bought them for 15. Sold these for 25 plus shipping. A telephone for the hearing impaired with a big screen from CapTel. Finally sold that. $26.99 plus shipping. Yeah, I had, by the way, whoever's watching that gave me the heads up on that. I had it as a 91-inch box. So that's why it was so much money to ship. Just fat fingered it. A water heater. How about a cast iron, some kind of sewage pump. Record players, portable spa, bath massager. You name it. I'm selling just stuff, guys. It's nothing like iPhones or anything like that. Nothing special, but you just got to find a deal. And when you get a deal on it, and you can make deals to these buyers and make a good 5, 10, 15, 20x profit. It works. Morty the One says, thanks for the info, guys. Move my ASP from around 15 to 35. It's working well for my sales so far. I agree. It's definitely changed us night and day. And I'm starting to wonder, my sell-through rate on eBay has gone up to almost 2%. And I'm wondering if there's a correlation between a high sell-through rate and your daily sale number. If you have good quality items, I think there's something to it. Fernando Lemus says eBay rep are all calling sellers to use the new advanced promoted listing. Well, they're trying to at least fool us by putting that in. If you've noticed in the lister, they've snuck it right underneath the standard, the standard option. So if you're kind of listing quickly, if you're not careful, you could actually click on that and have an X amount of dollars per day going towards that listing. Truman says, I did opt out and it changed my business policies to a new format. I had to opt out of the new business policies and have them change back to the old format. Interesting.
Comment right underneath.
eBay said that there was not a way to change back to the old format. The rep did not know what they were talking about. Sorry for the double post. Well, that's when you get a supervisor on the phone, because half the time your rep won't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Rich Colby says, I have not had any luck on eBay at all lately. Switch things up, trying free shipping, returns, but still nothing. Very frustrating to say the least. So I said this on Friday. I'll say it again. I think it's very important. What are you selling? And look that up. Look and see if it's selling at all. So go into the sold comps and the items that you think should be selling, see how they've been doing for other people. And if they are selling, but just not for you, go into those listings, the sold listings, and find out how that listing is different than yours. Whether it's the price, maybe you said you're trying free shipping and versus not, Find out what they're doing and emulate that. Lori says there's a lot of freight forwarders in Newcastle, Delaware, FYI. I think, yeah, I remember seeing that. In fact, I think I had one today. Yeah, I think I had one today where we shipped something to Newcastle, Delaware. Flipping for Change says, hey, y'all, just wanted to pop in and say thank you for your video about opting out of international. May 1 to 10, I had only 4 sales, opted out, and 4 items sold in the first 24 hours. Not a coincidence.
Right.
It can't be a coincidence if it's happening. That kind of story continues to be said by many people. You know, and there's people who thought they were opted in, but weren't opted in, you know, and they were trying to opt out and they were saying, well, it didn't affect me because you weren't opted in. If you have international shipping set up in your business policy, that overrides the opt-in that eBay automatically assigns. So if you're, you know, already taking international customers and shipping it directly to their country, hitting opt out ain't going to do anything for you. It's for those people who were truly opted in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Casey sent an email.
Okay.
About reviewing a store.
I'll check it out probably tonight or tomorrow, just when I get to it. No One Design says, people, just an FYI, if you do any account changes, selling preference changes, or any policy changes, it takes time to see the effect. 24 to 48 hours is not enough time. In some cases, give it a few weeks. I don't know. I mean, look, people are, I hear people say that all the time. Like, if you keep end items sell similar, it's going to hurt your Google exposure and Google shopping, right? But yet I go to my traffic and I do this every week. I've been doing this every week for like the last 4 months. And my Google traffic or my external traffic is the same as it's ever been. It's not affected like you think it would be. In my case, I opted out of international, and guess what? That morning I opted out. I had no sales for like a day and a half. And then I had like 3 or 4 sales that afternoon. So I don't know. Just because there's no way to know, all we can do is draw our own conclusions sometimes. No One Design says, on a large platform, data collection and analyzing takes time to implement and to take in effect. But if a computer is doing it, it's going to be faster than if someone's, you know, taking time to look at it. Eyes Wide Open says, thanks, John. Hit the like button and got a sale. There you go. Hit that like button, guys. We have still over 200 people watching. Sam Forsland says, was opted out of international shipping and now opted out after your vid. Already noticed sales picking up. And you know what? That's the name of the game. You know, we play the algorithm. That's kind of what you want to call it. Not for the sake of it, but we're trying to figure out how to make this thing work. Not all of us are blessed with great items to sell. And any little hack that we can use to make things work, I'm all for it. Sarah Jane says, I just got an order from their Delaware Inex Corp. Canceled them on the spot. There are too many scams associated. Plus, they repackage for overseas. But here's the thing: you're protected. You have seller protection. So if they send, I had something similar like that happen with a. This is like 2 years ago with a internet switch. It was $1,200. I sold it for brand new, and this person was in Minnesota. They forwarded it to somewhere in Europe. And I didn't receive anything until like 2 months later. I got a chargeback, and with all these photos saying I sent them a burn up unit, this, that, and the other thing. I won the chargeback, but you're protected by seller protection. They have to follow the process. If they're shipping it themselves overseas, that wipes out their protection right there. No One Design says, John, you've been doing an end item and sell similar for a long time, so the effect is small in your case. Okay, well, but I guess what I'm saying is, regardless of the argument I'm giving or the argument that you're giving or the argument that, say, maybe Tommy would give or the argument that Archie would give, it's all based on our own suspicion and our own internal data collection. eBay hasn't come out and said anything is accurate. We have to figure out what works for us. And I think sometimes we think something works for us and we automatically assume it's going to work or not work for someone else. And there's just no way to know that. Look, I would say maybe I'm wrong on the international thing, but I get all the feedback from people saying that they opted out and it can't be a coincidence. So that's why I like to share that information in hopes that other people try it and it either works or they dispel what I think's going on. Sarah says, do you sell zero feedback or just open an eBay account on the day of the sale? eBay's choices for buyers aren't blocking them. I don't know what to do. Here's the thing. If your items are in Google Shopping, okay, if someone doesn't even think about eBay, maybe someone doesn't even want to be on eBay, maybe like this newer generation haven't been told much about eBay because eBay doesn't do a good job of advertising. They go into Google search, they're looking for a certain thing. Maybe it's a part for something. And they see, boom, here's a listing. This is exactly what I need. They click on it and they don't want to open an account. They can check out as a guest, or they can create their own account. And in doing so, they're doing it because they want to buy your item. And I think if you were to block people, now you can't, but if you were given that ability to block people, you're losing out on a lot of sales from innocent people who aren't trying to scam.
Yeah.
I'm just a reseller. Says my sales this month are up 86.4 compared to last month.
Wow.
That's good. Keep going on that. Then I've skipped no design. So same goes for me. I've seen in GSP and sold internationally since day one, so the effect is very small. Okay. I'm just a reseller. I do delist and relist Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on items that haven't sold over 60 days. Works great. Just the caveat to that is be careful how many items you have to work with, because you could go over your threshold, like your store gives you so many free listings, and now you're paying insertion fees. Tommy says the forums are just filled with misery looming for company. Yeah, there's a lot of people. A lot of them are, I'm not getting sales. I don't know what's going on. And then like on the eBay forums, you can actually go and click and look at their store, and you see they have like 50 items listed. It's like, look, if you're an everything seller, if a good store is going to sell 1 per 100. So what makes you think you should be getting daily sales with that small of a store? No One Design says, yes, try it out. But when you do try it out, don't do it for a short term. Let it run for a while. Yeah. Biff says the opting out solution can be a coincidence if the glitches are sorted out at the same general time that people are opting out. Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know. I mean, we're just guessing. I mean, even my video that I put out is just a hypothesis. It's a guess, an educated guess based on the very limited information that eBay allows us to know. Chad Baker Photography says, I heard you mention FedEx for your shipping. I had to quit using FedEx. They kept charging triple what my negotiated rate was given nothing but excuses when I disputed it. I can tell you, I found out I spent hundreds of dollars in extra fees, and I had the same runaround. Found out that they want all their packages shipped in cardboard. Now you can put tape on the outside, but has to be cardboard. If you're using poly mailers or something like that's different than cardboard, they are going to hit you with extra fees. I haven't had any issues with this account. And he said, look, 99% of the time, you're not going to get hit with extra fees if you follow the process. And that's all I did was follow the process, made sure I over measured the item. So if it's, barely at 24 inches, I'll make it 25, that type of thing. If it's right at 4 pounds, I'm going to say it's 5, because I don't want there to be any discrepancies. And there hasn't been. It's worked out really well.
Yeah, I've gotten really good at Frankensteining boxes.
Yeah. So in situations where we didn't have a box for something and we don't really have that size box for something, you find a way to make it work. And that's what we're doing. John says, hi, John and Jenna, another great show. And thanks for all the info. You never know when it comes into play with eBay. You're right about that. The Left Wing says, I often get people messaging me with offers, but don't place the offer on the site. Any thoughts? So they message you with offers but don't place the offer. So they don't actually send the offer through.
Yeah, we get that a lot too.
You communicate.
Yeah.
You do what eBay fails to do. You communicate and say, if you're interested in this item, I can send an offer to you. If you have your item set for best offer, they can send you an offer. But I'm taking it that by messaging you probably don't. So you could say, look, if you're willing to pay now, I can go in and change the price to this amount for the next 30 minutes. If that works for you. Otherwise, if you don't buy it in 30 minutes, I'm changing it back. And that works if you don't want to do best offer. Sarah Jane says, the only thing I hate is that with the ones that scam, always have to purchase that return label or lose eBay protection. Many times I bought and sent, scammers don't use, but I won a case. But think of the very small percentage of times compared to the number of items you sold to that 1 or 2 times you got that scammer. It stings. I know it sucks, but look at the percentage of times it happens. It's such a small amount. And, we talk about that being the cost of doing business. You just got to, in your mind, it makes it a little bit easier to swallow if you just say, look, in a course of a year, I'm going to get maybe a handful of these. I'm going to make so much more money. Let's just take the loss and move on from it. And, that's what I do. Use your refund tool, adjust 50% on a refund if you have to. But it is what it is. Casey wants to talk about taxes. I don't have an LLC, so I'm assuming my sales come from eBay will be added to my payroll from my job. Pros and cons. Well, you're going to get a 1099 from eBay at the end of the year. And now taxes, you should be taking out money as you go. I mean, it depends. Like if you have state and federal, we don't have state here, so it's a little bit less here. But we take out 20%, throw it in the savings account, and then quarterly send it off to the government. At the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes, you're going to be able to put in deduct things like your expenses, supplies, shipping, eBay fees, cost of goods, all those things. Even if you're working from home, the space that you use. Now, I'm not a CPA, that's why you should seek one out. I've just been doing my taxes for the longest time, and I'm pretty good at the Schedule Cs and stuff. But if you're not very familiar with it, you might want to seek out some professional advice so that they can kind of work you through your specific situation. I'm a reseller. I'm just a reseller since I have only 360 items, do about 70 to 80 sales a month, give or take. Okay. That I can say that that's about 240. That's pretty good. Start looking at, take about a third of your store that's underperforming, maybe your lower ASP items, and maybe look at getting rid of those, or maybe being honest about what you have to sell and putting those, maybe getting those off of there and replacing with higher ASP stuff. Try to improve that, and because that's what we did. We improved our ASP, and it's really helped us. I mean, over 90 days, I think we're at 475 sales for 250 listings. So it's pretty good. Biff says, I agree. We're guessing, and we're right to guess since that's all we got. That's all we got. And you're going to use what you've done and your experience. I'm going to use mine. Thankfully, we got a lot of people that share their experiences, and I can kind of fall back on that too. Tommy says, when you see sellers complaining about poor sales over and over again, it has nothing to do with eBay. It's people listing junk and it's people not being honest with themselves. That's the biggest problem I see. People are just in such denial about their situation, and instead of being in denial, they need to be honest with themselves. That's why I'm always telling people, look at your competitors. They're selling that Beanie Baby, or at least they're trying to. What are they really getting for it? It's funny. I was joking with, I actually was doing a little video on it. I didn't put a video out, but I saw they're pretty much giving these Beanie Babies away, bags and bags of the McDonald's ones still in the packaging, and one sold with a slash through it for $1,500. And I was joking with Archie, like, wow, this is a big money maker. We of course didn't buy it, because the other ones, the comps were like $7 free shipping. So Sarah Jane says, Biscuit, I have two separate issues. I'm taking domestic only, and the return scammers related to the zero feedback new account. So return scammers, very small percentage. Zero feedback, don't worry about. Again, you do things that you're supposed to do. Follow the process when you're shipping your items. 90% of the time, you're going to be covered by seller protection. So I don't lose sleep over scammers. As Tommy says, a loss from a scammer is a tax deduction. It is. So let's see here. We have a lot of sidebar, but I'm just a reseller. Says you're 100% correct. I'm actually putting old inventory in a separate rack. Be doing what not show with starting bid of $1 just to get them out there. I'll take the L and move on. I would recommend, though, start your listing on Whatnot at $2, because many people have sold their Whatnot items for $1, and after the fees and everything, they took a loss. Might as well just go throw it in the trash can outside.
Yeah.
So look, we're at 1 hour and 48 minutes. I actually have to go somewhere. The bowling league that I had to quit early in the year, it's the last night, and they're giving out the money. So I have some money coming back. So I'm going to get out there and meet up with everyone to do that. Also, I get to pick up my 300 ring from the previous season. So just kind of anxious to go and do that. But look, guys, who knows what's going to happen after midnight here? Hopefully the changes have been made with these category changes and item specifics. And a lot of the glitches will be past this, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But I guess dealing with these kind of things you guys have learned is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent start to your week. You know what? You can't control what you can't control. Control what you can control, and that is getting your listings done. And just go and do your homework on your store. If your sales are slow, find out why. The answers are out there if you're willing to spend the time to look.
Yeah.
So until next time, guys, have a great week.
Have a good one, guys.